There is no awkward silence that is worse than a Zoom awkward silence. Digital discomfort dispersed through sketchy Wi-Fi to legions of beleaguered law students across the nation. That cessation of sound as we sit staring at our shuffling rows and columns of Zoom isolation, faces, spirits, and academic motivation all wilt as the weekdays start to blur. We get all laced up from the waist up to watch close-ups of bleary-eyed future lawyers eating waffles in bed or shoving cats off their keyboards. Two people unmute at the same time. No, you go ahead. No, you. No, it's okay. Wait, what? And then they both mute. And now it's guaranteed no one will ever try to speak again. Families and friends, faculty, staff, and alumni, and students of the class of 2021, everybody unmute yourselves, and let's hear it for not being on Zoom. You know, it seems like only yesterday I stumbled into law school for the same reason as all of you, because I hate math, and lawyers don't have to do math. Or so I thought, until I found my path blocked by a little thing called the rule against perpetuities. Don't ask me what that means, I haven't started my bar prep yet. But after clutching my 4-function calculator on my 1L contracts final, trying to regain the plain 4th grade math to solve some diabolical liquidated damages problem, again, don't ask. As I cried myself to sleep that night, I realized that math was here to stay. Equations like this one. If I have 200 pages of reading to do over my lunch break, and I'm working on 3 hours of sleep plus 6 cups of coffee, what's the probability that I could survive a cold call? Take that answer and divide it by my remaining absences in that class, multiplied by whatever shame I still feel when I get called on unprepared, carry the 1. For all the bar exam character and fitness references in the crowd today, please note we always read every page. Equations like this one. If a train leaves Cincinnati for Chicago going 50 miles an hour and drives west for 3 hours, how many different cases from torts could we reenact before it gets there? Or equations like this. 1 semester of wildfires, plus 2 normal semesters, plus 3 semesters in a pandemic, minus the comfort that at least everything else in America during the last 3 years has been totally mellow and not at all turbulent, equals being here today. I know 2018, 19, and 20 didn't go the way you thought they would, and 2021's not quite back on track yet either. The last year sent everyone here on an unspeakable journey, watching cities burn and families break, loneliness and outrage, loss and heartache, empty streets and empty churches, and all of the fake institutions we reach for with our trust in outstretched hands, letting us down like wolves shedding their sheep's clothing. You don't need any more prophetic screams or poetic dreams from me about some impending dystopia to make you feel empathetic, because the anesthetic of decadence is nearing its expiration. The pain from our cultural amputation of authenticity and forgiveness is starting to reawaken in roaring waves. We learned at Pepperdine that no person, no system is beyond redeeming. And then we just spent a year stuck behind our screens daydreaming of joining the fight. Our grandparents grew up watching America glow by the dawn's early light. Feels like we're watching it at sunset at the twilight's last gleaming. I came to law school because I hate math, but some days I catch myself calculating again. Equations like this. The probability that my actions could ever actually make a difference, minus the futility of being able to help just one person, plus the hostility of our divided culture, equals uncertainty. Whether that leap of compassion is meaningful, or just according to the chemicals in my brain trying to maximize utility. Dumb as it sounds, some mornings I pray that God would just give me the courage to be the guy to break a Zoom awkward silence. To ask God if I could borrow his vision to look through the screen, to see my brothers and sisters quarantined in their own curated little Zoom boxes, trapped in a square that won't light up yellow. I came to law school to learn how to think, but the last 3 years taught me how to believe. To quit crunching the numbers like some cold-hearted utilitarian and quit pretending like we live in a world where everything always adds up. Sometimes there's wildfires. Sometimes there's a pandemic. Sometimes you slay a final and get a C+. Sometimes you wonder if justice is worth your time since you can't define it with the scientific method. We're lawyers now, for crying out loud. Nobody wants us to do math, but they need us to believe in something. Like so many of you, I let my guard down when I came to law school and I got disillusioned. But when illusions are acting like anchors, it's time to cut the ropes and find out what you really believe. Me? I believe in complimentary library coffee. I believe that sipping it with friends is the best antidote to law school depression. I believe that today we join a profession that can redeem culture and challenge oppression in a world of dehumanizing aggression and polarizing suppression of free expression. I believe in the power of a matchless and melodramatic Professor Jim McGoldrick 25-minute middle-of-class meandering digression. Where's section B? And today, I believe that clinging to mathematical formulas to compute value and justice and love is like trying to control F all the answers during an open book law school final exam. The answers just ain't in there. And if they were, you wouldn't have time to find them all. The last 3 years taught us how to drop the illusion of control and practice the discipline of belief. The greatest relief is singing harmony in a celestial score you didn't compose, letting go of the arrogant need to cram the universe inside of your 2-pound brain. We take the pain and perseverance we collected these last 3 years and look outward together toward a world on fire, armed with our beliefs and our better words. Class of 2021, together we, with unmuted voices, we, with unmasked faces, will carry forward the lessons we learned and proclaim healing to our cities, to each other, and to ourselves. If things get better or if things get worse, we carry this light and we rise together. Thank you.